Hey now, Bulls and Bears. Well. We've got some information to go over today. I'm not the lonely voice in the wilderness any longer. Now, some mainstream news sources are agreeing with my analysis that we're headed into an economic nightmare very sooner, much sooner rather than later. Let's talk about what came out of Fortune today. Fortune used to be a magazine. Do they make magazines anymore? Anyways, yeah, they do make magazines. Yeah, I was in Barnes and Noble a few months ago. They still have magazines. Folks, let's talk about this. Americans are on their way, and sooner rather than later, Americans are on their way to being maxed out on their credit cards. Let's take a look at this article here. And this is out of Fortune. I called it Fortune Magazine. Any magazine is pretty much online right now. Fortune, American families may soon max out their credit cards. Top analysts warn and be hung out to dry. What do they mean, hung out to dry? That doesn't sound good. Let's get into this here. All right, first of all, that's an interesting choice of words, hung out to dry. I don't want to be hung out to dry. Do you? I'm not a piece of laundry. Are you? Struggling U.S. families covering their living expenses with credit card loans may soon run out of options, an analyst has warned, saying a spending correction is in the cards. In the cards, no pun intended. Shoppers were warned their bank balances would be pushed to the point of pain in order to get inflation metric, which gets as high as 8.5% in July 2022, under control. James Knightley has warned shoppers may be turning to loans in order to keep up with their expenses. Yes, they are. And people are draining their 401k accounts at the fastest pace we've seen in a very long time. Also, a lot of people taking on personal loans, which can be a slightly lower interest rate than credit cards, sometimes a bit lower. But the credit card balances are so big that this lifeline is not going to last long. James Knightley has warned shoppers they're turning to loans to cover their expenses. Yes, that's true. We've covered that here in this channel. Knightley describes such spending as really strong platform for the third quarter GDP, which I think that's ING Direct, is currently predicting an annualized rate between 3 and 3.5%. The only problem is, Knightley says, American consumers are living a lifestyle that their bank accounts simply cannot justify. Of course, we've told you about the savings rate. And I still have people debating with me that the consumer's strong and that everybody has tons of money because they went to the mall, they went to the ball game, they went to the amusement park, and they saw a lot of people spending money, having fun, and buying stuff. Well, folks, a lot of this is on credit. Most people, I say a lot, it's most people. About 60% of people basically are not paying off their credit cards. Not only are they not paying it off, I just talked about this, 2 reports ago. About 60% of debt holders, credit card debt holders, have debt for more than a year. So not only are they not paying it off, they've been carrying it for a very long time. This is not sustainable, folks. And I think housing will be the last to fall. There have been economic downturns previously where housing led the way as far as the beginning of the economic decline. But this time, I think housing is going to be last because they're doing everything they can to keep the housing market propped up. We're talking about a lot of 1% loans out there, way worse than 2008. The average down payment now, excluding cash buyers, the average down payment is even lower now than what it was before the first housing bubble, before the last housing bubble went bust, right? How crazy is that? 1% mortgages everywhere. Zillow is one of the latest big companies promoting their 1% mortgages. So credit cards and credit card debt, I think, will be one of the first areas of implosion. We already see rents ticking back up, or late rents ticking back up, with cities now taking people off of the moratoriums. So it's going to get really bad here. And typically you would say, okay, let me hold cash because there's an economic downturn / recession right around the corner. Maybe I can buy up a lot of things for cheap. Well, the way things are going, things aren't going to be that cheap because look at all the retail theft. Look at all the problems with the food and the food shortages. And no, you're not seeing empty shelves, so to speak, not that type of food shortage, but the production of food is only declining. It's not increasing, right? So we have an increasing population. The population is getting bigger, but the food production is declining. as in the farms. Not a good thing. So prices are going to stay up there. The goods and items at retail stores with the theft, especially here in California, with the crazy California policies where people can go ahead and steal and not get in trouble and not even get stopped. What a couple reports ago we talked about how a guy at Walmart told me they're not even supposed to intervene when somebody's walking out of the door without paying. That whole let's see your receipt thing at the door, that's just a deterrent. But people that know what's going on will just walk right by them and even laugh at it. So we won't see those prices in stores coming down very much, if at all. Probably they'll go higher. Oh, we've got oil ticking back up now. What, $85 a barrel? I told you this was going to happen. I expect this to be $100 a barrel by, I'd say by March 2024, $100 a barrel plus, as more countries join this BRICS alliance and turn their back on the dollar. It's going to take more dollars to buy uh, everything, including oil. And look how many things are made using oil. I mean, was it 6,000 something items are made using petroleum, right? So higher prices there, higher prices at the pump, you name it. And look at the countries that are producing the most oil. Many of them part of the BRICS alliance, folks. Do you see what's happening here? And what happens when consumers slow down on spending because they're getting close or they are maxed out on their credit cards? Well, unemployment goes up, right? Because when people spend money, that creates jobs. When people pull back on spending, jobs go bye-bye, they vanish. Unemployment reaches 18-month high for good reasons as Americans come back to work. Maybe you can explain that to me. Unemployment reaches 18-month high, so more unemployment, the highest in a year and a half, according to the official number. Because Americans come back to work. What do they mean? What are they saying here? The jump in unemployment in August was driven by younger and older workers, those between 16 and 24, and those 55 and older, a sign to some economists that so-called prime age workers, or those between 25 and 54, are fully engaged in the workforce. All right, so there you go. I mean, to me, that's a really twisted way of trying to justify an increase in unemployment to an 18-month high. So there you go. That's good news, according to the good folks here. And who says this? This is according to Thomas Simons. Who is he? He's a Jefferies U.S. economist. So there we go. We have a U.S. economist telling us that an increase in unemployment is a good thing, nothing to worry about. Folks, tell me what you think. I mean, I think that sounds like the typical, nonsense that we hear out of a lot of these mainstream economists who want to keep things calm. They don't want anyone to be alarmed. Some mainstream outlets like Fortune, we just talked about that at the beginning, are warning us that people are getting maxed out on their credit cards and they don't have much more savings to burn through. And they can't burn through their 401ks forever either. So there's got to be an end to this game here, and it's coming up pretty soon. But not everyone is predicting stubbornly high prices. New car market prices about to plummet due to oversupply. This is per Go Banking Rates. Let's see what they're talking about. The U.S. car market has shifted into lower gear in only a matter of months. Lower gear, get it? After average car prices hit record high as recently as last summer, some analysts now predict an oversupply of vehicles will lead to a price war that sends prices plummeting. Yeah, plus you have the consumers getting maxed out. UBS estimates that global car production will exceed sales by 6% this year, leaving in excess of 5 million vehicles that will require price cuts to get sold off of the lots. Do you agree? Do you agree that we're going to see plummeting car prices because of oversupply? When you look at the consumer, it doesn't seem like there's that many buyers left out there. Of course, people can always get loans, but are these loans, how long are people going to be able to pay these loans? We had to talk about the same thing with credit cards, right? This game can't last forever. They can keep printing money, but households, consumers have to work for the money, and you can only work so many hours in a week. You can only work so many jobs. Uh, for the most part, people still have to sleep at least a few hours a night. So you can't take on 4 or 5, 6 jobs to keep up with all this. So there's going to be an endpoint here. Will we see falling car prices, though? Let me know what you think. I bought a car, would have been about 2 months ago now. Used car, newish, like 4 years old. I don't like to buy brand new cars. And so I check around still because I want to make sure that I didn't overpay. And I'm still not seeing any deals out there that I think are, better deal than I got. So I don't think prices are coming down at all. Maybe slightly in vehicles. Let me know what you think down in comments, please, about this. Do you agree with crashing prices ahead? And let me know real estate. What do you see as far as what's going to crash and what's going to go up? I think oil is going to go up. I don't see oil prices crashing unless we see another global shutdown like we did in 2020, which I don't even want to imagine that, but it wouldn't surprise me with what's around the corner here. So, all right, folks, we're going to wrap this up. What do you think about the car uh, price crash prediction? Try to get that out. And what do you think about the warning out of Fortune and the economist saying consumers are maxed out and we don't have much longer to go? How much longer is it? We're about to find out here because we're in September now and things are going to get very interesting. So keep an eye on this channel. Please come back, hit that like, subscribe button, please, and the notification bell so you can keep up on all the latest economic financial news that affects you and me. Everybody, thanks for being here. Keep stacking. Bye for now. Peace.